Hi everybody, it's September 1st, 2025. Some of us wish for change, and that makes it all the more disappointing or irritating when a change comes, but in an unexpected direction, or it changes from being good to worse, seemingly at first. So the changes that we want usually are gratuitous in nature. They usually are for our fortune, for our posterity, for our comfort. And these changes come, but as I stated in the previous video, we rarely recognize them until time has passed and we realize how good the good times were, but we were just too distracted by wanting something else that didn't look the same as what we had. And in a roundabout way, this comes to the point that there's a flipping mirror of or a flipping image or mirror of our inner opposition. For instance, when we have an opinion or start making a plan or start forming a mock-up of what our reality is, the inner opposition that naturally comes will start out maybe being on your side, saying for example that we don't want to work with this person because they did this in the past and we don't trust them. So it seems like the inner opposition that you have may come with a face that's on your side. So once you progress and start making more plans or start taking more action, the inner opposition may flip and say, but this person that we don't want to work with, maybe we want to work with him or her because they have more connections and maybe they're better than us, or maybe they're more confident than us. They'll give our work a better face, and we don't have to put ourselves out on a limb. We'll just use them. So it seems like the inner opposition flips just to throw a sidewinder at you, or just to take away the confidence you have in yourself. And it takes away the confidence you have in yourself by changing or skewing your morals, or skewing your convictions, or skewing your intention, your initial intentions. So what you do is realize that inside there is only you, and this opposition voice is a check and balance most of the time. But it's just because it's a part of you, it doesn't mean that it is the back of your inner vision controlling things. And it's a very interesting concept to single out inside you what is controlling things, because there's so many moving parts and parts that have opinions and inputs that if you try to look too closely, you don't know what's actually making the decision. And as I believe, there is a synergy where, just as our body has different organs working together to keep us living and healthy, there's an inner you that is made of different areas and spiritual organs and spiritual perceptions that come together to form your inner self and your inner I and your inner controller. But even so, I believe that there is a singular entity inside us that is experiencing this life, this reality, and is the final say. So even though we have internal spiritual organs that do different things and have different opinions, I believe there is a central core controller in us that we must find and keep track of it every now and then, but it's not necessarily that important. It's important to keep up a standard of purity, a standard of honesty and goodwill in your creed, in your inner creed, to advance through life in a beneficial and helping way, helping the world out. And sometimes we feel so small that we don't feel like we can help the world out. But as everybody knows, they say that when you pass things forward, it kind of balloons and it kind of spreads. Fortune upon the rest of mankind in subtle and sometimes grand ways. So with this flipping image of your opposing voice inside, to deal with that, to conclude, is probably to realize that the nature of our inner reality and our outer reality, there is an implication that we must decide. We must decide when things are screwy. We must decide when things are dark. We must decide when things are fortunate for us. We must decide when we are scared. We must decide when we are abused. We must decide when we are lied to. We must decide when we are admired by our children and admired by our family. We must decide at all times when it comes down to it, even if the flipping opposition pretends to be our friend or pretends to be our enemy. It comes down to knowing that in the center of this reality, the Father, Son, and Holy Spirit is with us, and we must be the center of our own life and do our duty to spread what we want in this world and to give ourselves what we want in this world in a good way, in a good-natured way, so that things sustain and things progress peacefully and more joyfully. So I hope this helps. Thanks.